Oh hey, we didn't see you come in there. Welcome back to another video. What's up, it's Amico, and the John Hancock Museum is apparently not a scam. Although personally I think all publicly funded museums are scams, because it's a tax loophole and a lot of weird shit goes on behind the scenes you wouldn't think about. But anyway, John Hancock, if you really want to see good coverage of this, you should follow the Evil Streams channel and watch his latest video about John Hancock. Link will be in the description. Evil just went over it really good. That shit was hilarious, and he tore it apart. But, you know, the weirdest thing to me, I was in there making comments, the most fucked up thing to me with John Hancock Museum really is the core of it. It's basically, who the fuck would want to go to a museum to see a complete collection of retail video games? Like, what the fuck is that? It's basically... He said it himself. He didn't go after rare, like, interesting items. He didn't go after things that people can use and play. When people open video game and computer museums, they're filled with, like, old TVs, CRTs, systems you can play. That's what they focus on. Computers that you can play, like old Apple computers in the 80s with the games turned on so you can play them and experience them. Nobody wants to go see fucking boxes of a complete collection. And he's like, oh yeah, that's what they need to see. They need to see what was out there. But it's nonsense. You never went into a store and saw every game at once. It's not like it represents what it was like to be there in the 90s. Right? These are the boxes. So who would have ever been in a room with all of the boxed video games? Maybe like the corporate executives of Nintendo? Like and even why would they do that? Because after a certain point, they stopped selling the older ones. By, 1998, 1999, they weren't selling the older versions of the Nintendo 64 games. So what the fuck? Why is a complete collection interesting? I can see somebody being interested in, like, if they put one out at a convention, like a gaming convention, but no one would go just to see that. You would go to see the other things, and then you might look at that. And even then, you might only be interested in the most rare games. But then if you brought in people who didn't know anything about it, they would only be interested in the most common games. People would walk in there off the street and say, well, where's Contra for NES? Can I play Contra for NES? They'd say, oh, it's over there in the stack of all the other boxed games that you can't get out and play right now. The only solution would be that they had like a multi-cart sitting there. Like they had a video game, an NES hooked up with a multi-cart that's got little Samson and every game on it, so that when people come in there and they go, well, I want to see what this game looks like. Ice hockey for NES. I remember this and I want to play it. Well, okay, come over here. Here's the multi-cart. We're going to turn it on for you. Because what the fuck point would it be? Can you imagine that? I think even looking at comic books that you couldn't open and seeing all the covers on display would be more interesting than video game boxes. It's not even a representation of all the games that were out there. It's a representation of the marketing boxes that were not even on the shelves. Because if you remember, Nintendo games and video games in general were usually behind the shelf. So you didn't see the box until you took it home, and 95% of us threw those boxes away. So the sentimental value of these boxes is kind of... I mean, what's the point? He's got CIB games, complete in box games all together, and you can see all of them, even the ones that don't matter, like some fucking PGA golf game or something, or college football. It's just, who gives a shit? So you've got all of them in one place, but it's easy to get all of them in one place playable and see all the art. People can get that with like 3 clicks. So... just not comprehending why anyone would want to go out of their way to see this place that has these games that are boxed that they can't play. And these guys are purists. I say, hey, maybe it would be cool if they had a ROM cart there, but these guys are like anti-ROM cart. So they'll have all these games. Be like if you went to a place and it was like, this is the Motown Music Museum. Okay, cool. You go into the Motown Music Museum. What do they have? We have every Motown record, and you can't open them, and they're on a shelf. I would rather you don't touch them either. All right, have a good day. Can we listen to some music? Well, we can listen to these 3 records, or we can listen to these records over here, but here's some records you can listen to, but not those ones, unless we play the MP3, but we're purists. We like vinyl. It's the Motown Vinyl Museum. So you can't play all of them, but we have all of them, and you can look at them. It's like, what the fuck? You want to see all the covers? I guess the covers are interesting, but like, print a book, dude. What the fuck are you talking about? Like, who's gonna want to go to this place? Unless it's combined with some other thing. Like, video game museums, there's a pinball museum, and you play all the pinball machines. It's not like they just have them all there. It's bizarre. It's a computer museum needs to be played. And what John has is not playable as far as I understand. Most of his stuff, he's talking about it's his complete collections of things. Boxed complete collections of things. So like, who gives a shit? I mean, I'm sure there'll be some playable things, but who's going to this? Like, who the fuck doesn't have access to what these boxes look like? And what's the draw of seeing them all together in one place? Like, who gives a fuck? Most of those games are games that people don't like or don't remember, especially the rare ones. So you're talking about, I have a complete collection of a game. So anyone who's like a normie, not a video game enthusiast, walks in there, and 90% of the games are the games they don't remember. What the fuck is the point of this? So there's a million other reasons I'm not talking about that's shady with John Hancock and his museum. Other people have covered those. Plenty. But seeing as he's going to make it a reality, he's got this friend who's a mayor and some other friends, and Justin LeClaire. And watch out when someone's a mayor. He was a mayor for 8 years. Watch out, because I didn't look into it. You got to look into it yourself. But when someone's a mayor, that doesn't mean they were elected. Sometimes they just live in a place where they sit on a board, and the top business owners switch the mayor role every 8 years. And there's weird shit that goes on. Don't assume someone was a mayor that they're successful or they were elected or anything like that. And anyway, he's going to get his tax shelter if he gets it going. He doesn't really get it going. I don't think he's really getting it going at all. It's exactly what Evel Knievel said. It's like he's setting up an organization to court another organization to let him do the thing for free. It's like Amico bullshit. So there's a lot of other shit going on, but even it's like Amico bullshit also, where it's like, who's going to want this thing? Who the fuck cares about a complete collection all in one place? It doesn't matter. All right, peace, guys. Have an Amico day.
Oh, how can you ever